I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special.
I say there's nothing to do, but damn, like, what else do you gotta do? he's a 3-time undisputed champion.
Hey man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So skillful, yes, but this and this.
Many fighters hesitate to face Terence Crawford, and for good reason. Even boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. once noted that Canelo Alvarez seemed uneasy when they stood across from each other. Crawford isn't just talented, he's calm, calculating, and always studying his opponent. He avoids clean shots, waits for the smallest mistake, and then strikes with flawless timing. That combination leaves opponents feeling like they have no path to victory.
And that stare down that we talked about when I told you either he's not ready for this or he trying to little boy Bud. He wasn't trying to little boy Bud. He really was afraid. Well, not afraid, but he was worried about Bud. And Bud knew that. And Bud being the older guy, Bud kind of looked him in his eye and made him turn away first. That was a victory for Bud. That was Bud's first victory. Anytime that happens, if something else don't come around or something else don't happen to undo that, you got a problem.
Paulie Malignaggi praised Terence Crawford for putting together one of the most impressive careers in boxing. Crawford became an undisputed champion 3 different times, an achievement rarely seen today. He did it by taking on top-level opponents, not by choosing easy fights. What stood out to Paulie wasn't just the victories, but the way Crawford fought, hardly ever getting hit cleanly while controlling every match. His record tells the story. 41 wins, 31 by knockout, and 0 defeats. Paulie called his run historic. He said Crawford's recent win over Canelo wasn't just another victory, but the beginning of a new era, much like when Floyd Mayweather dominated his time. In Paulie's eyes, Crawford is now the leading figure of this generation.
Flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost a round. When you look back at Bud Crawford's career, there is something really special. It's one of those things now, because now I've now seen back-to-back generations of Floyd Mayweather and Bud Crawford, and man, you know, it's one of those things where now I understand why the people that lived in the Ray Leonard era say, you know, oh, wish we could see Ray Leonard against Mayweather and how that would be. Because it just leaves such an empty feeling when you have such special fighters that were in different generations, and you saw both of them. You know, I saw the entirety of the Mayweather generation. I saw the entirety of the Bud Crawford generation. Just incredible. Really, really incredible. And I know Mayweather gets a lot of hate, but for me, he's a tremendous fighter. And Terence Bud Crawford is in that realm as well. And it's a fight we'll never get to see. So what are we going to do, you know? It'll be up to the fantasy fights, you know. But let's get into it, man. I want to get into the undercard as well and some of my thoughts on the Netflix show. But let's get into the main event first. Crawford really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly at the whole fight. You know, he got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved.
Brian described Terence Crawford's performance against Canelo as something special, noting how rare it is to see such a perfect mix of defense and offense in today's boxing. Usually, fighters are strong in one area but leave gaps in the other. Crawford, however, showed complete control. With tight defense and smooth movement, he shut down Canelo's attacks. Then, in an instant, he shifted into offense and took advantage of every mistake. Brian explained that this balance is what sets Crawford apart from other champions. He can take away an opponent's best weapons while creating his own momentum. For Brian, it was remarkable to watch a fighter not only avoid damage, but also dominate a world-class opponent with calmness and precision.
See, I think that for me, I watch defense as much as I watch offense. So, yeah, like I thought, like watching Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. he'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem.
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that to ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo.
Yeah,
Ever.
he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. And Canelo said it. He goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
Which is why he probably won't fight him again. In a way.
They'll fight again.
You think so?
The payday, yeah. But so you're going to get Canelo, because the money's in Canelo Crawford, the rematch.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it, but I want Crawford to get paid, so might as well do it.
Andre Ward spoke highly of Terence Crawford, calling him the most skilled fighter of his generation. Ward, knowing himself as a technical master, focused on Crawford's mindset, saying that once Terence decides on a goal, he'll do whatever it takes to achieve it. Ward explained that you can't beat Crawford with strategy alone. The only way would be to truly break through his toughness in the ring, because tricks and tactics won't stop him. What makes Crawford stand out is his adaptability, switching stances, adjusting to pressure, and always finding a way to take control. T.O. Ward. Crawford's success is no accident. It's built on determination, discipline, and an unwavering drive to overcome every challenge.
Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on is Bud.
Who's the most skilled fighter today?
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he come in the room or I come in the room, we start arguing about basketball, wrestling, anything, bro. Like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. Like, it's just that, like, you got to really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So, skillful, yes. But this and this, it's different, man.
Terence Crawford's path has also been shaped by his family. He often remembers how his father believed early on that he would one day become an undisputed champion, giving him confidence from the start. His mother, on the other hand, had her doubts and wasn't sure he would reach the top. Instead of holding him back, that doubt motivated Crawford. Every time he entered the ring, he carried the determination to prove her wrong. With each victory and every championship belt, he not only lived up to his father's belief, but also earned his mother's pride. Looking back today, Crawford takes satisfaction in knowing his journey brought both validation and respect from his family.
My dad used to tell my mom I was going to be a world champ.
I told him we would be.
How'd that make you feel? It filled me with rage. And every time I stepped foot in the ring or anything that I ever did, I just wanted to win so bad so I can prove a point to her.
I paid the kids, I said, if y'all can whoop Bud, I give y'all $10 a piece. Could not whoop him.
You went out on the street.
Yeah.
What's now Bud Crawford Street.
Yeah.
And offered $10 to anyone who can kick my son's butt.
Yep.
And a lot of takers.
Yeah, the kids in the neighborhood. Couldn't nobody whoop them.
What did he tell you then?
He told you, Mom, I told you I'm the best.
When discussing his career choices, Terence Crawford explained that he never aimed to become undisputed at 154 pounds because he didn't see enough tough competition in that division. For him, being undisputed isn't just about collecting belts. It's about doing it against the best opponents available. Instead of staying at 154, Crawford made the bold decision to move up to 168, where the challenges are greater and the names carry more weight. He believes that testing himself at this level will add even more to his legacy, to be why refuse and take the easier path. Crawford shows his determination to chase risk and ambition over comfort and routine wins.
Has being undisputed at 154 ever crossed your mind at this point that you at in your career?
Not at all, because I'm looking at the landscape of the 154-pound division. There's a lot of great fighters, but there's not a lot of defining fights at 154. There's not a lot of legacy fights at 154. You know, when I'm looking at the landscape of 154, I beat, what's his name?
Majimov? No, 154?
No. The champion that just knocked out Tim Tszyu.
Oh, Bachram. Yeah.
Okay, so Bachram, they're going to say, who is Bachram?
Facts.
He knocked out Tim Tszyu that already had losses.
I would put you down with Fedora, though. They're going
But Fedora already been knocked out.
Yeah, he did.
So, along my career, I've been criticized and people have taken credit away from me just to try to diminish my accomplishments just off of pure hate.
Terence Crawford has also taken time to display the championship belts he's earned. Not as bragging, but as proof of what years of dedication have produced. To him, each belt represents more than a win. It reflects the sacrifices, challenges, and persistence behind it. When Crawford stands with those titles, he's sending a message to both fans and critics that nothing came easy. Every belt was earned through tough fights and determination. They stand as symbols of effort, discipline, and self-belief, while also inspiring the next generation of fighters who hope to follow his path.
I'm just reflecting on all my accomplishments at my mama house. That's where all my belts at. You know, hard work, dedication. Things that y'all favorite fighters, some of them, ain't got. So I see why y'all mad. See why y'all mad. Ooh, look at that one right there. This where it all started at. Right here. This one. In Texas. In Texas, baby. Don't hate. Just congratulate.
Virgil Ortiz Jr., a rising talent in his own right, gave Terence Crawford high praise after his most recent fight, calling performance absolutely beautiful. Ortiz said Crawford had already proven everything he needed to and didn't have to chase more opponents to secure his place in history. From Ortiz's point of view, Crawford's legacy is already sealed. The respect coming from a young, ambitious fighter highlights just how much Crawford's dominance has impressed the new generation, leaving him inspired by what he's already achieved.
Perfect fight actually. He neutralized all of Canelo's strengths. He knew that he was gonna look for the right hook, because I believe that they've been looking at Crawford being hurt by that right hook before. So he neutralized it. He used his jab really well. He boxed beautifully, and man, I mean he did everything right. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about Crawford first, because obviously we can get to Canelo later, but in the post-fight, they asked him, a media member asked him if he'd come back down to 154 to fight Boots. Obviously, in the same token, I took it as, all right, Boots or Virgil, right? And he said he's not coming back down to 154. What are your thoughts on him not coming down, and what do you think he will more than likely do next?
I don't know what he's gonna do. I did read something that said he'll go down to 160, you know? And I think that is definitely a possibility, and you know that fight can still happen at 160. And as far as what he's gonna do now, I mean, I don't know. He kind of beat the final boss of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's kind of nothing. I don't want to say there's nothing to do, but damn, like, I mean, what else do you got to do? he's a 3-time undisputed champion. He made some good money. At this point, he's just a free player right now. I guess he can do whatever he wants.
Effect is in full effect. Okay, it's in full effect. Terence Crawford now is a wanted man. Prior to that, everybody said Terence Crawford is not a draw. Terence Crawford can't sell. Terence Crawford is not a big money fight. Now, we have an interesting situation brewing. The former unified WBA, well, WBO, WBC, junior middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar or star boxer, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, refused to fight Terence Bud Crawford, who is now, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt, the pound for pound king, 4-division world champion, 5-division world champion, 3-division undisputed world champion, with a record of 42 wins, no loss, no draw, 31 wins by way of knockout. When Terence Crawford dominated and stopped The Truth, Errol Spence Jr., in July of 2023, Terence Crawford petitioned to move up and fight the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, okay? And Sebastian Fundora has zero interest
Yeah, I mean, shit. They definitely doubted, bro. And he told me months ago that he was gonna do that. And he went and did that. That shit, you know what I mean? They doubted him a lot throughout his career, you know what I mean? Just a lot. And just a lot of people that I look at that's great fighters, they've been doubted. You know what I mean? Same thing with Floyd. Floyd, they had the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Shane Mosleys, the Trinidad. They all was putting them above Floyd and all this woo woo. You know what I mean? So I just feel like getting doubted is a great thing. It gives me, you know what I mean, that push. So yeah.
You think it would look that? I ain't gonna call it easy, but I felt like people didn't think that Crawford could do it that clean. Did that surprise you?
No, 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 no. It did surprise me that he stayed more disciplined. Like I thought what was gonna happen was he was gonna do what he was doing, and then Terrence got hard. He trying to bang it out, especially if he feel played enough. He feel like you feel like you doing something. He gonna come with it tough. So I thought that was gonna be a problem. Like if Canelo landed a punch, he would
I
try go in the trenches
kind
with
of get that.
Canelo, and that's what I would have been scared for him for. But man, that boy stayed sharp all night. Man, that boy looked good. Man, I can't lie, he looked good. Sure, I was definitely surprised at how smooth, how easy he beat him.